has built up an X-second advantage, doesn't lose it.
Absolutely, but so, as we see the 26 car doing the same thing, and the 48, and the 24, the LMP2 cars, we don't expect these cars to go quite as far, but I would have expected one more lap from the LMP2 cars. They should be doing 11-lap stints, yeah, they're coming in for fuel, as is the 42 Caterham car driven by Tom Kimmer-Smith. So still this slow zone, so that actually won't have been an advantage for that Audi, because he will have gone through it in the same way as everybody else has. But had that gone away, which it can do at any time, as I say, it's not necessarily a fair thing that you will go through that slow zone, every car, the same number of times. It will play into the hands of the strategists. So the GTE class cars here, we see the 51 car still leading, but that Corvette C7R now catching onto the back of Jimmy Bruni, as we see one of the Porsches slow now. This is the 14 car.
And that's extraordinary. That's certainly not what we were expecting. And that is a worry. That's the number 14, and that's driven
by Neil Yarny at the moment. Yep. He's, wow. We didn't expect to see a chink in the armour this early. Those cars, you know, they've been strong, certainly over a few hours. See if we can hear any team radio here. I don't think we're going to get team radio just yet. We're probably going to have to get it filtered, because it looks like there might be some obscene language being used. Almost like that car's stuck on the 60-kilometre limiter, Bob.
Yes, I wondered about that. Exactly. I wondered about that.
The gesticulation. They had this at Spa, where they had to do a full system reset during the live time on circuit, but I'd be surprised. You know, there was a lot of criticism over what they did there, that they kept the car out and did that reset whilst coasting round. And I just wonder if we're seeing a repeat of that, because definitely engine still running, still definitely forward motion, but a very constant pace that seems to be stuck. And it does look a bit like 60 kilometres an hour to me.
Yes, it does, absolutely. It looks a very, very constant speed.
So we still have this slow zone in the first chicane, as we see the 14 car now making its way back towards us at the Ford chicane, showing that he's used all his hybrid energy for this lap. So, and it's stuck on the pit limiter. It is stuck on the pit limiter. We see it 60 kilometres an hour there.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
Wow, I'm surprised that we haven't just seen him do a system reset whilst coasting, which is what they were doing at Spa when they did have a similar problem with the hybrid system. It's going to be something as simple as swap a box, if they even need to do that. It may just be master switch reset while it's out on circuit, and it just seems to be just gesticulation, not much action going on in the cockpit.
One other thing we haven't perhaps commented on is Alessandro Imperatori has made it up into 10th place and first of the LMP2 cars in the Orica, ahead of Harry Tincknell, Tristan Gomendy and Jan Mardenborough. Those are the first few in that class.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's good to see the Orica now coming through as the stint wears on.
Number 14 into the pits.
So Imperatori really on it now. That 47 car coming in now, that being the KCMG run Orica Nissan, so Harry Tincknell, I think, stays out.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So it looks like Harry can do an extra lap.
Yeah.
I know the man that designed the fuel tank for that car. That is interesting to see. If Harry can do that consistently, that's going to be a massive advantage for that car. I have a feeling that he won't be able to do that consistently, but let's see, as we see the 41 Zytek coming in this lap, locking a wheel on its way into the pit lane, with the 33 following close behind, as we hit the green flag of the slow zone now clear on the Mulsanne. Next slow zone will be cleared shortly. No, so that message was slightly premature. We now have the message that the slow zone is still there on the screen.
So very interesting that Tincknell stayed out, whereas all these other guys came in and perhaps trying to get a tactical advantage by doing so, but all of a sudden that is negated by the track going green.
What would have been fantastic there would have been if for Harry and the guys, if that had gone green. It has gone green now, and I do wonder whether Harry's got there yet. Because if he has, he's going to be... well, if he hasn't, it's an advantage for him. And if he has to go through that one extra time, he is going to lose another 30 seconds, as we see the number 1 Audi coming in as expected now.
Number 3 Audi, that was Bononomi coming in. That's after 10 laps. After 10 laps, might have expected more?
This first stint, difficult to say. Obviously, they had a lot of very quick running without traffic. And the green flag lap. Probably about right if they want to stagger them, because I think 11 for the next one would be where they would be. Obviously, in traffic, these guys save a lot of fuel. So the number 1 car now really coming through the Ford chicane in front of us to complete another lap. In the traffic, that's him in the leading GTE cars now, so he's now behind the GTE class leader, the 51. He's cleared that car, as we see now Ferrari, Corvette, Aston Martin.
How much closer do you want?
The GTE class is always just phenomenal. I'd love to see the Porsche on the back of that train, and I think we will see it, but the guys at Porsche, I think, playing a slightly different game there, as they... they've had a few issues through the week, and I think they want to see those cars to the end. And last year, same thing. They let the Astons run away and get on with it, and then who won the race? So we're looking for news now of the Porsche. Not seeing anything that's really telling me what's gone on there, but that 14 car is definitely stuck on the limiter.
Hasn't gone out either, I don't think, has it? Still in the pits. Yeah, 14 still in the pits.
It seems like such a simple fix, but clearly more to it. So it has gone back into the garage.
Look at this column of cars. Absolutely amazing. Look at it.
This the GTE AM field, all grouped together, having a fantastic race. This is the pro drivers in the car at the moment.
Okay, sorry.
It did all look very, very close there. Be interesting just to see how the LMP2 field has panned out. Obviously, Harry still owes us a stop in that Jota Zytek, I suspect, on the in-lap now. But Christian Clean up to second, so the pit stop work there by the New Blood by Moran guys with the Morgan.
This was a Chevrolet getting ahead of the 51 Ferrari. But looks as though they've reversed again.
Yeah, so Harry now into the pits with in that leading LMP2 class car. Let's see if he manages to get out ahead. Christian Clean just coming through in the New Blood by Moran car as well. So he's managed to do that, stretch that extra lap. So it looks like the Morgans and the Zyteks have been able to do go that little bit further on their fuel.
The older cars.
Yeah.
And perhaps they're not awfully confident with the newer Ligiers of doing that many. Into the pits comes number 8. Toyota pits after 11, well, it's 12 after 12 laps.
So we're going to see a lot more pit visitors. Just interested to see the LMP2 class, who manages to get out ahead there. Harry Ticknell now on his way already.
Oh, look at these two. Oh, Chevrolet squeezes ahead of Ferrari. And that was, just hang on a second, it was Jan Magnussen, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it would be Jan.
Oliver Gavin watching very, very closely, showing how an old master does it.
Absolutely. As we see that Pegasus Racing car getting away from them now, that LMP2 car. Just trying to see what's going on here, because on the timing screens, Harry Ticknell's going out of the pits third. So the Ligier of Tristan Gomerdy managing to jump them. I just want to see a first sector time from each of those guys that we have. Alexander Imperatori still leads.
Yeah. And there is the Porsche number 14. They're still working on it. At Spa, it took quite a long time for this hard reboot to take place, if that's what it was.
It seems odd that they've got the engine cover off and they're trying to get in the back there and do something more mechanical, which I don't believe at Spa they had to do. They were able to reset those cars as they were running. There's something something strange going on in the back of that car. So as soon as we have news, we'll let you know.
Yeah. So Voets from Lotterer, 26 seconds now. And that is a big advantage coming into the pits. It's that I think is possibly Nathaniel Berton.
So we're seeing a message here that Nick Manassian is going slowly through the Porsche curves.
Oh.
Be interesting to see what's happening there. There was a slight lick of smoke as that car came past us last time. So let's see. Trying to see, that is an SMP Racing Orica that we can see on the screen in amongst the GTE cars. There it is, going back into the garage, so the 37 back into the garage.
Yes, it came into the pits. I thought it was a car with 8, but in fact it was 37. That's how Manassian had quite a big accident in that during qualifying, so that has been the major problem for that car.
Those guys have been massively unlucky so far this week. They've seen that car off this morning as well. So, yeah, a new chassis yesterday as the 7-car pits. So the 7 car coming in at the end of its 11th lap.
And that is the Toyota number 7.
The Nismo TV camera that we see here, this is on a wire and has it's actually a little Nissan GTR hovering above the pit lane. So fantastic shots here above that stop. You see the refueling man in, making the connection to the car, and they'll be putting it, absolutely filling that car to the brim. He'll wait until he sees it as the 2 Audi comes in, clean the windscreen, and no tyres for that car, not surprising.
No change of driver either, so Alexander Voets stays in the car.
And off he
goes. Away it goes.
So double stinting those tyres as we expected, as all the 2 really nearly come together in the pit lane. There might be a few questions there as to whether that was an unsafe release from the Toyota, but I personally think that was fine.
Porsche comes in, number 20 from 3rd place.
So the 2 car, same thing, no tyres, full tank of diesel in their case. Good clean to the screen. One of the things, and the headlights, one of the things that we see with these coupes, very difficult to keep the screen clean, and they will have tear-offs on there, deciding that they're trying to save the tear-off. They don't want to be wasting those. They probably have 9 or 10 of those on the screen, ready to pull off.
Quicker than obviously cleaning it by hand.
Absolutely, and you know, it just comes to a point where they'll wait, especially if we're expecting to see a rain shower, until they pull those tear-offs. They want to give the guys as much visibility as they can. These cars not easy to view, to look out of, although this year's cars vastly improved over last through the safety measures put in place by the FIA and the ACO. So looking at the timing screens now, not a lot really. Seeing a pit stop from everybody, other than the GTE cars.
So if we look at the major hitters, as it were, the number 1 Audi pitted after lap 9, the number 3 Audi after lap 10, and the number 8 Toyota lap 11, and then 7 Toyota, 2 Audi and 20 Porsche after lap 12. So
yeah, I'm not convinced we should read too much into that yet.
No.
I think we'll see some yo-yoing going on in the number of laps that they can do, but ultimately 14 is the aim. It is key, you know, these yellow slow zones will be key to that as well. If they can save just a little bit of fuel and stretch in another lap, it's very worthwhile, because if they can do that 4 or 5 times during the race, then they're winning, you know, big chunks of a stint. As we see a replay on the screen of the Audi trying to push the Toyota down the pit road. I don't think that was an unsafe release myself. I think that those 2 could have... I don't think the Audi even had to come off the limiter. Just very close. So the LMP2 cars filing through down at the end of the into Indianapolis. Is that though? That's the Mulsanne Straight. As we see our leader, the 7 Toyota.
Understand the Xeon problem again is a gearbox problem, and it doesn't look as though we'll see it again, which is a real shame. There's the number 74. That's not the class leading one. That's the 4th in class. It says there. It was 3rd in class anyway.
Yeah.
So unfortunate. There's a bollard risking its life.
You're absolutely right, Bob. It is declared as a retirement, the Ziod. So
Already
gutting for those guys. They've said that's it. That's the end. It's pretty terminal, the words used, but declared as a retirement. A shame for those guys. What those guys have done is massively innovative, and I hope we have an opportunity to talk to some of those guys and explain more about that project to you. Nissan, of course, coming back next year to the LMP1 categories. We see a fantastic battle here. The Toyota just trying to get past that number 2. So this is the battle between the 2 and the 8.
Lotterer and Lapierre.
They're some 27.5 seconds now up the road.
Isn't that fantastic? Look at those, seeing those two battling as though it's a sprint and having to deal with traffic at the same time. This is where racing drivers really earn their money, isn't it?
Absolutely, especially through these fast Porsche curves, heading down now towards a much slower Ford chicane. The 8 car now getting stuck behind an LMP2 car that we can't quite identify. That is in front of us. That's the... Nope, can't see which car it is. Yeah, he'll get clear of that now. And away he goes, so he's going to catch traffic again, I think, probably split by traffic up at the Dunlop curves as well. We see the 3 car come through. They're up behind the G-Drive Morgan, one of the very fancied cars for the victory in LMP2. And that's the LMP2 leader we're seeing there. The LMP2 leader getting squeezed by a GT, the Taizan car there, I think, the Taizan Ferrari 458, and in turn squeezing the Audi, but the Audi driver taking the right, avoiding action there, and getting well out of the way, letting those two get on with it.
Well, Imperatori, having started in on the grid in 16th place, up into 9th place now. Here's a replay. Oh, a little, yes, some smoke.
And in the background, yes.
Sorts of excitement's going on all at once.
Yeah, that helped the Toyota catch on to the back of the Audi again, so we're now going to start to see that battle happen. We're 14 cars still in the garage. So sad to see this. 13.5 or 14 minutes now spent in the garage. Car coming down and going to get turned round, so you'll see it get a full tank of fuel if it didn't already. Normally the teams will refuel the cars as soon as they arrive in the pit box. So we see it here, the change of position, the 20 Porsche driving past the 1 car. And this is what we saw during qualifying, that the Porsches and the Toyotas were just so much quicker than the Audis down in Mulsanne, and they were pulling a huge amount of time on them. So 3 together there. That's the two LMP2 cars. No, that is. So that's an Audi, a Toyota, and an Audi, all starting to group back up again. And the Porsche staying ahead of the Audi.
Oh, it's all so close, isn't it? They've got themselves, at least they've got themselves some clear air, but Audi going ahead of Porsche there. Number 1, Tom Christensen.
Just the strengths, different strengths around the lap. It is fantastic to see, because it is 3 different answers to the same question from these manufacturers, and they swap again there because that the lithium-ion battery on the Toyota, on the Porsche, you get really giving it some punch out of the corners, but at top speed the Quattro 4x4 Audi able to really stretch its legs. Could go on for hours, that battle, as they change position. The Toyota's ever so slightly quicker in the pits than the Toyota and the Porsche, I think, ever so slightly quicker in the pits than the diesel Audi.
Now, in fact, for second place, we've got Lotterer and Lapierre very close together as well, and we're expecting them to come through in a moment. Perhaps they've been split by traffic, which they have at the moment. In fact, there's 3 of them together. It's Lotterer, Lapierre and Bononomi, all very close together.
Fantastic shots on the screen right now as the 20 car navigates its way through the traffic, through the karting corner, and now heading, some squeezing going on there for the Audi in front of it. but the 20 car, yeah, the Audi quicker in this last section, but this is not what we saw during the week.
Christensen and Bernhardt there.
As we see the 70 tyres and 458 coming into the pits.
So we've got some good battles out there. Admittedly, Alexander Woods is over half a minute in the lead. Look at this traffic here. This is what it's all about. What's the advice to a driver when he sees a couple of LMP ones looming in his mirrors? Just stay
online, and so many times we see accidents because they don't. So yeah, absolutely. You tell them stay online. It's their job to pass you. You don't want to be going and getting pickup on your tyres, so large lumps of rubber attached to your hot tyres that can take absolute age to get off, if at all, as we see an interesting graphic here. Showing RPM versus just a slightly different way of describing it, the 8 versus the 3, so Toyota versus Audi. Very different rev range there. The big diesel V6 not revving to the same way as the V8 petrol engine. The graphic there, actually, that's an excellent way of showing how the energy is being used throughout the lap. You see Nick Lapierre there in the Toyota still using the energy where Marco Bononomi isn't. The green bar to the right-hand side of each of those coming down when the electrical energy is being put into the drivetrain. So Nick Lapierre used more of that energy earlier on in the lap, so we can expect to see the Audi now coming back at him with more energy left to use. And Toyota, Audi, that's a shot and a half.
And Toyota loving it. Who's shown out there with the white hair we saw. Absolutely loving this, and now the Audi comes into its own to get past the Toyota. Will it get past the Toyota? That's the question. Look at these three, and this is after nearly 52 minutes of racing. Very early, of course.
I was going to say Nick Lapierre there, I thought had learned his lesson, go to the inside and don't worry about it. But the Audi still managing to go all the way around the outside of him before they turned into...
Audi like that.
Turned into Mulsanne. As they come out of Arnage on the run up to Indianapolis, flying now down, you see a lovely shot there of the scenic areas of Le Mans, just on the outside of Le Mans here. Lots of residential houses probably been taken over by teams for the week, and everybody else gone on holiday. As they come through the Porsche curves, catching the Tracy Crone 458 there at just the wrong point, and they can't take the risk or going around the outside of Tracy's car there. That's brave.
so quick, but the Audi has established itself ahead of the number 8 Toyota.
So the Toyota not able to get back past later in the lap. So let's see. As I say, these are some really different answers to the same question. And just fantastic to see these cars battling like this, because I don't think we necessarily expected it to be this close this early on.
And Audi can't quite get... Oh, it has now, but more an Aston.
Yeah, so you hear Nick Lapierre there saying they have a lot of power, yeah, we can see that, but he's got quite a bit out of the corners.
There he is, he's being eaten up by the other Audi, so he drops back into 4th place now. So it's Woods with a lead of about 34 seconds from Lotterer, then Bononomi, then Lapierre now in 4th place. Christensen, how far is Christensen behind him? About another 30 seconds further back. Christensen in 5th place, and then 6th, Bernhardt in the Porsche. Number 20, the surviving, well, they're both surviving, but then we've got the 2 Rebellion cars of Heifeld and Veliki, and then Imperatore still leading LMP 2 ahead of Mardenbroek, Gomendi, Tignal, they're all close by as well.
Yeah, so we've seen Jan Mardenbroek bring that car, the 35 Ligier car, up in ahead of the Tristan Gomendi TDS sister car, the TDS car with the Honda power, and the Mardenbroek car, of course, the Nissan power. Those guys being the Nissan sponsored, or the Nissan athletes, as they call them now, not the gamers. We're not allowed to call them gamers anymore. A puncture there, left rear puncture for which Porsche is that? That's the old 997. So that's the Pro Speed competition car, the 79. This is something we saw in the Porsche, not supercar, Cup, Carrera Cup race, just before the Le Mans 24-hour began. Those cars suffering with a lot of left rear punctures. So a repeat of that.
Number 79, really unfortunate there. The Porsche is quite some way down, or certainly is now with the puncture. Who is driving that car? Way at the bottom, I think. 79. Jerome Bleekemer.
Whoa, that was very close, and there are flags there. So I'm surprised to see a mistake like that, but luckily it didn't end in tears as they were trying to pass. So the unsafe release we were talking about for car 7, I think they should get away with that. It was tight, as we see the 3 Audi running off circuit, going around that Corvette, and the Toyota going to the other side of it. That was fantastic.
This is the replay, yeah. Oh, look at that. Corvette was thinking, where am I? I've got these LMP1 things crawling all over me. Help!
And of course, Corvette with a very innovative system in that car where we have our first reel off. Try and see, that's the 61 car, I think. Yeah, it is the 61 car. 61 car being. He grabs some pieces of paper and has a shuffle. That's the Louis Perry Compact. Marco Ciocci at the wheel, with Mirko Venturi. So GTE AM car, one of the favoured cars. So what happened here? Oh, he turned in on the front of one of the LMP2 Ligers there and just got turned around. So you can't be doing that. You've got to pay more attention to what's around you. And we talked about getting in online, but maybe it was a bit of a late move. But I think that LMP2 car, pretty obvious, he couldn't back out of that. He had no more stopping power than what he was already doing. Yeah. So 61 under waved yellows at the moment, just waved yellows, not this slow zone procedure. I think we'll see that car being pulled out and he'll be able to continue. Just one of those driver errors there. I think that you don't turn in on a faster car that can't slow down any more than it already is. He was pretty committed. Might have been his issue. He may not have been able to make that move, but it's he's the faster car, and you've got to watch your mirrors. Just going back to what we said about the Corvette there, the Corvette has a GPS system inside that car. It's a radar and GPS system combined, where they can see on a screen, big TV screen within the cockpit, who is coming at them, and they have different colour arrows depending on the class of the car that's coming at them, and they can see which side they're going. So the system will have been going mad at the driver there, saying you've got an LMP1 car on either side of you. Might even have confused it a little.
It's quite a lot of we saw quite a lot of bodywork coming off that car, and yet no LMP2 car coming into the pits, so we're not certain which of the Ligiers it made contact with. We had Ligier in second place with Jan Mardenborough in class, and Tristan Gomendi in third place in class.
It was the usual very light contact that can turn a car around when you're loaded up. Yeah. He'd started to turn in. You see that very much in touring car racing. When a car's loaded up, you can spin it on a sixpence.
So we still have Fultz out in the lead with a 36-second lead from Lotterup, Bononomi and Lapierre, all very close together. And then Tom Christensen about, difficult to say, let me see, 36 seconds further back in 5th place. And then Timo Bernhard, just a couple of seconds, not even a couple of seconds behind him in 6th place. Then we've got the two LMP1L cars of Heidfeld and Maliki.
So we're seeing on the screen now Harry Ticknall and that Jota Zytek having a battle. I think that's Frank Mayer in the 34. I think that's the Labra run, Orica. It could be the rate. That is, I think, the Labra car, yes. Harry falling back as the tyres wear. I'm surprised by that. That Zytek, not normally that hard on its tyres. I wonder whether Harry just pushed a little too hard to try and stay with the leaders. But we'll see as this stint rolls on. Maybe those tyres will come back to him. Simon Dolan did have a problem at the last ELMS race where he got a lot of pickup on the tyres and couldn't get rid of it. So we'll see how this one pans out as they come past the and jink into the 92 Porsche GTE car there as they run up out of the Mulsanne corner. So yeah, that is the P2 car, the Labra run car, now running away. yeah, the G Drive Morgan there, also in the thick of things. So that is really a tight battle there with all of those cars bunched together, all those LMP2 cars. There's the Murphy Prototypes car there, also catching on to the back of them. Those guys, I think, one of the favoured ones for that, as we see that lovely camera onage on the exit curb there. Fantastic view. So running up towards the Porsche curves, we see they have got that car out of the gravel trap now. So that car will now be sent on its way as we see a replay. Did they actually touch on the apex? It was as he turned in. I think they did just touch, but it's that usual thing of you see a loaded up car being able to be turned round on the apex very, very easily. But that you could, the Ferrari did turn in, but that Ligier was committed and wasn't going to stop. There was no way he could slow that car down any more than he already had.
Now we have a very special guest who's just popped in to have a quick chat with us, and we're particularly pleased to meet him on this day because Dario Franchitti, MBE. How about that?
Yeah, that was a very nice surprise.
Well done, congratulations.
Well, in truth, it wasn't so much of a surprise. I found out in May. In fact, signed the forums on the way to the grid at Indianapolis, so something I'm really, really proud of. And yeah, it's a terrific honour. Really, really proud of it.
We're really delighted to see you here. Thank you very much for coming to talk to us. What do you think of this?
Nobody's told them it's a 24-hour race, I would say. It's
like
incredible.
a sprint, isn't it?
It's absolutely incredible. And not only the intensity of the race, but the speed of the cars. Did you see the Toyota accelerate when he left the slow zone? Yeah. Did you watch the speedometer? It was incredible.
All of the figures that on the readouts.
It's just
like spinning.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think we're in for a really good show. GT just looks mad right now, and I think with the new technologies in P1, who knows what's going to happen.
Now, unfortunately, they didn't know you were about to become an MBE. Otherwise, they would have given you the flag to wave, I'm sure. But you're here for a special reason, aren't you?
Yeah, well, the guy that waved the flag's pretty handy.
Do you think so? He did notice the cars, and he saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
I think he's pretty handy, that boy. And did he drive the 512S? Did he let
Yeah, I think it's a P4 or P3.
Was it a P? Okay.
Well, I think it's a P.
I didn't get to see it. I just saw the windscreen outline, and I was pretty jealous, I must admit. But yeah, no, I'm over here, obviously, watching the race and hanging out, and I was hoping my little brother Marino was going to be driving after winning Sebring at the start of the year, but wasn't to be, so we just came over for a bit of a road trip, and at the same time I'm an ambassador for safeisfast.com, so they've brought me over here as well, and to talk about that a bit.
So what is that about, Safe is Fast?
Well, it's really a resource for drivers, whether you're a young driver starting out, whether you're a guy who races historic cars, really anybody. I've been on it and learned a couple of things from some of my rivals because I listen to what they say, but it's completely free, and you go on there and you listen to these tutorials, whether it's from drivers talking about how to overtake. One of the guys earlier could have had that with the Ferrari incident. It's preparing mentally, physically, PR side of things. I was lucky I had Jackie Stewart there when I was coming up through, doing all that stuff for me, and at the same time surrounding me with people that taught me all this stuff, the engineering side of things. Most of the time I listened, sometimes I didn't, but not everybody's got that advantage, and safeisfast.com provides that. It's completely free. We're very fortunate to get Honda to come on board this year from Honda America, and they have sponsored it, and it's something that Bobby Rahal sort of started the whole thing with the Road Racing Drivers Club in America, and it's been really good, and it's making a lot of difference, I think.
Now, after all your many successes in the States, sadly, you're not allowed to race any longer, are you?
I'm not, and you know, that's actually, that car around there was maybe in my future. But no, I'm really unfortunate that you know, with the accident last year at Houston, the doctors just said no, it's just not possible anymore. The repercussions of another accident would be too bad, and so that was that.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, yeah, not even historic racing, any of that stuff, and
really nothing.
No, nothing at all. And I'd actually planned to come here in a couple of years' time and race here at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and had some nice discussions with some of the with a manufacturer very close to my heart, and I thought we were going to do something for next year, but with the accident, it wasn't to be.
It's going to be your pension, was it?
No, it was just going to be fun. It was just going to be a load of fun. I've been really lucky to race an IndyCar and win the 500 3 times and some championships, and I really felt that as close as that is to my heart, this was going to be the next, the really next chapter.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm still working with the target team with Chip Ganassi Racing, and the Audis are getting pretty close there, pretty racy. So I still get to do that, which I'm really, really happy with.
Does this new technology, fascinate you? For example, where the Audis sort of are quite a lot quicker on certain parts of the circuit, the Toyotas are quicker elsewhere?
It really does, and the difference between whether it's the way each manufacturer's come to it. Look at that. I mean, I have to say the Toyotas look pretty quick, but the Audis, I think, have been sandbagging just a little bit in practice and qualifying. They look very strong, and if there's one thing they know how to do, it's win the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
And what must it be like for these guys threading from a driver's point of view, threading their way through this traffic? Unbelievable.
I think it must be very difficult. Obviously, I've never raced here at Le Mans, but done Daytona and Sebring. But the closing speeds with these cars, it really is incredible. And it's not so much on the straight anymore, it's the mid-corner speeds. I mean, they're something like 40 kilometers an hour quicker through the Porsche curves than they were 4 or 5 years ago. 40 kilometers an hour. It's mighty. And that's with a smaller tyre too. So you can see with some of the mistakes that have been made, these guys are not cruising. This is not a reliability run anymore. This is a 24-hour sprint race. And as spectators and fans of racing, we're lucky to get to see it.
Well, they're only lapping about 4 or 5 seconds off their qualifying pace.
Yeah, I saw a 23 earlier.
Yeah.
Somebody, I was like, I think it was Virtue did a 23. Obviously, he had his Weetabix this morning.
Yeah.
3:23.1. Look.
Yeah.
So he's up for the fight. Look how close they're all running together. I just think it's going to be a great race. It's a wonderful event to come to as a fan. I've really enjoyed myself.
And lots of people have been coming up to you and wishing you well, and hopefully today they've all been congratulating you on your MB.
Yeah, it's been lovely to see a lot of old friends to hang out with the race fans. We stayed down at the Hotel de France, and there was a whole scene going on there too. It's one of the things I feel very fortunate to be able to come to these events and really enjoy it, and as a fan. And I've got a couple more planned, going to Goodwood in a couple of weeks, and then the British Grand Prix as well. So I've got my busman's holidays planned for the summer, and then back to the IndyCar series in Toronto, and hopefully see the Target boys win a couple more races.
Well, enjoy the road trip. I believe it's in something quite sporty by the sounds of things, as you weren't able to bring your respective wives.
Well,
you and
Marino and I came down. He was, as I said, supposed to be driving. Didn't turn out that way, so we brought I have a Carrera GT, and we brought that down. Luggage room was at a premium. We only fell out once over a wrong direction. He was the co-driver, but it was just an absolute blast. And we found a couple of tunnels on the way down too, and got to make some good noise. So it's been a lot of fun.
And you're going up to Normandy to have a look at the beaches.
Yeah, going to Normandy on Monday and Tuesday, and obviously with the anniversary as well. It's
played so quickly on an MBE. Was Alain Prost when he won, I think, OBE, which I'd actually nominated him for.
Good man.
Yeah, I'm afraid the service is no longer available, but so I'm delighted to talk to you, and thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you at Goodwood as well.
We'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you. So, little message there from Lena Gates talking to the number 2 Audi, which is currently in 3rd place, Andre Lotterer. So, Giles, what have you discovered? You didn't really have time to go over the pits, so...
No, I've made it out and just consulted a couple of the guys out the back. The SMP racing car, the Nick Manassier car, looks like we've lost that car from the race, unfortunately. With an engine failure, which is those Nissans are normally near indestructible, so that's the 37 SMP car out with an engine.
That really has been in the wars as well, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, the number 7 car has been reported to the stewards for that unsafe release.
Yeah, so I think they're going to leave it to the stewards to make the decision now. Eduardo Freitas and his team deciding that they haven't got the time to investigate that, so let the stewards get on and do it. Either that or it's just too contentious for them to make a decision. So the panel of stewards, which will consist of people from various ASNs, the local motorsport governing bodies, will sit down in a room and talk about that. I hope we don't see the 7 taking a big penalty for that. I don't think I don't think that was an unsafe release. It was very close, but you know, we do have a fast and a slow lane here. And what we saw there was, yeah, he came across into the fast lane, but the Audi didn't have to brake. And we're here, and we're looking at the millimetres, and that's exactly what they did. And all these teams have a line on the pit wall that the guy with the lollipop can use as his reference marker for release, and to me it looks like he got it absolutely spot on the money. So let's see, the stewards may decide different, and I'm sure there'll be somebody from Audi down there banging on the door saying you need to give them a penalty, because we now see that car some 37 seconds up the road and still pulling away from the number 3 Audi. And we now, one thing that we have seen now is the number 2 Audi pip the 8 car. The 8 car, obviously the car, the Toyota we saw have a little off on the second chicane at the Mulsanne, but no damage there. So I wonder whether they just, the balance of that number 8 Toyota not quite where the guys want it, but those three still running together, the Audi and the Toyota, 3, 2 and 8. So the other thing that we saw there was some of the LMP2 cars having a small offs while you were talking to Dario, with the 27 car going straight on through the gravel trap, but rejoining and no issues there at all. And yeah, just this LMP1 battle continues as we see the 2 pass the 3.
The 2 Audis still absolutely neck and neck, side by side on the Mulsanne straight.
This could go wrong, as we've now got 2 Ferrari 458s going side by side. The Ram racing car tucking in there. I'm not sure which the other car. It looks almost like it's the 2 Ram racing cars racing each other. I'd be surprised by that. I can't quite see the colours with the screen we have. But the Audis cleared them, and the Toyota falling back. So the 2 Audis working together to use the toe to break away from that Toyota.
Fascinating. We're up to 20 laps, so this could be when number 1 comes in fairly soon. It stopped after 9 laps, so after another 11 or 12, it'll be interesting to see from Tom Christensen. It'll be a little bit of what can we say? It's not a warning, but
this is the gauge for the rest of the race.
Yeah, exactly.
This stint, no shadow of a doubt about it. We want to see 14 laps out of all of these cars, and I'll be very surprised if we don't. That said, the pace is relentless. So who knows? They may be down to 13, but you know, looking at the LMP2 class, I'm very interested by the fact that Harry Ticknell in that Jota Zytek seems to be falling back at the rate of a couple of seconds a lap, as we see yellow at Marshall Post 100. I think I saw a Ferrari 458 going slowly, yes.
100 is an Arnage, yeah.
That's the 8-star car. I think we've just passed the orange 8-star car going very slowly coming out of Arnage. So see what happened there as the last remaining SMP Orica holds these cars, the Audis up right through the karting section now, Porsche curves. No, sorry, we're still very early in the Porsche curves. But they're going to be stuck behind him right through karting, as he then has to negotiate a Porsche that does the right thing, uses that new runoff. And I think that's a fantastic thing they've done, putting in that extra runoff. It's exactly why it was needed to allow that to happen. So the SMP car ducking into the pits anyway, and the Audis now filing through with the Toyota just behind. And wow, just yeah, this race is absolutely electric. Yes,
isn't it?
Alex Wirtz is running away at the front, but the battle behind is just something to behold. I think this could go on all night.
Porsche not really involved at the moment.
Of course, we've not heard what's happened to the 14 car,
No,
and it's something I was trying to find out about while I was off air there.
I'm sure we were right.
I'm confident, but what I'm really confused about is why it's taking so long to deal with that.
Yeah.
So car 90 continued and is now slow, which is what we talked about.
Now, but it's back in 50th place as number 1 comes in. Number 1 comes in, and that's number Tom Christensen. This was the one we wanted. 13 also comes in. This is after lap 21.
Surprised to see that Rebellion coming in, so again we'll keep an eye on that. That should be going a lot further than that. So just looking for an update also on this unsafe release situation, and not able to get anything there. I don't think we're going to see much. have a look.
Toyota, hang on.
Right on the Audis
Traffic,
again.
absolutely. This is the battle for third with the two Audis of Losser and Bononomi and Lapierre. Now we had Christensen come in. As I say, he pitted on lap 9. This is now 12 laps later.
So we're going to see at least one more from those guys. We're not going to see it duck in, and this battle will get split as the pit stops roll through, but it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out in terms of who's the quicker. We should see the Toyota jump the Audis with the pit stops. The Toyota fills a little bit quicker than the Audi, so they can get their fuel in slightly quicker, although it's supposed to be fairly equal. And we shouldn't, I don't think we'll see tyres, but this bar we have along the bottom here, comparing what they're doing, and the particular interest here, the very right and the green battery, if you like, over on the right-hand side of the graphic, seeing how they've used their energy. Very even now for the remainder of the lap, and that's something that we'll see as the race goes on, them use certainly differently depending on where they are in traffic. You see Nick Lapierre there using it to boost through, and now he'll use it all. They're all using it coming out of Arnage on the run-ups, the Porsche curves. Both got the Toyota slightly less left than the Audi.
So we've got actually all the LMP2 cars into the pits. Imperatori, Mardenborough, Gomendi, Maya, the first four. Tingle stays out as he did last time. And then Panciatici and Berton also into the pits.
Absolutely, and that's going to be critical to Ticknell's race and the Jota car, because if they can do this every single stint, they are going to save pit stops, one if not two. And with the pace of the car, they do look to be slightly slower than the other cars in that class, especially as the tyres are wearing. It should be good to see them towards the end now, then really reeling it back as they save those stops. We'll have a look at how that one pans out as the night goes on. The other car that's managing to do more laps than anybody else in that class at the moment, the Christian Clean Moran Morgan. So again, I think we were expecting that. I do know that the Ligiers have a small fuel pickup problem, and that's the reason we're not seeing them go further. It's not really going to affect their strategy during the race. It's if we have a safety car that might come into it, or if we have a large amount of yellow zones, or sorry, the slow zones, that's going to come into it. They might not be able to gain a lap where they should elsewhere. They're leaving about 0.8 of a kilo of fuel in the bottom of the tank.
It's not very much. All the Toyota's been a bit blocked in there, but goes way offline to overtake an LMP2 car and a GT car as well in this battle for second place. 36 seconds behind Alexander Wurz.
Yeah, absolutely. This battle is going to just rage on. As I say, the Toyota should jump the Audis come the stops, which we'll see probably one of them ducking in at the end of this. Which car was it that pitted first, Bob?
Sorry,
which car was it that pitted first in terms of the Audis? Because I think we should be seeing the Audi number 1.
Yeah, first of all, well, that has come in after 12 laps.
So now we're going to see the 2.
So next up is going to be next up is going to be number 3.
Okay, so it's going to be the 3 car we see come in at the end of this lap, we believe. Still, oh wow, 3, 4 abreast. Gosh. Yeah, why not? 4 abreast down the Mulsanne straight. The Audi had to back out of that.
At what speed?
200 miles an hour. Yeah. 310 kilometres an hour. These guys doing down here. It's phenomenal. At least 310. I think the quickest car we've seen so far down the straight this weekend, until the race started at least, was because. So yeah, as we expected, the 3 car boxing this lap. When they hear box, that's them coming to the pits for fuel. Be interesting to see if they take tyres. But the quickest car we've seen down the straight so far this weekend, the 8 Toyota Kazuki Nakajima on his qualifying lap. Interestingly, the second quickest car we've seen so far with this weekend, the Nissan R90 CK Group C car. Quicker than any of the other LMP1 cars. So Nissan's getting their bit in.
What sort of speed are we talking about?
338.1 kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
That's some speed. So yeah, we're going to see the 3-car duck in, so it's following the 2-car, so it doesn't hobble it up out on pit in. But the Toyota really falling back now.
That's again 12 laps.
So the magic 14 just doesn't seem to be there. Let's see if the Toyotas can do it.
Yeah.
Even if the Toyotas can do 13, we're going to be... they're going to have an advantage.
So Ticknell again pitted a lap later.
Yep, they're able to go to what I believe will be an 11-lap stint.
So he hasn't stretched it anymore.
No.
Still the same.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Audi comes in onto pit road now, onto the pit limiter, 60 kilometres an hour all the way down that pit lane. And then he'll turn right into the pit garage with a nice clear approach, hopefully. The Audi guys are always very good at managing their neighbours. They always are for the same garages, with a little bit more room to the front of them, as they're joined between the new and the old pit buildings. So in he comes, all calm, no... We hear a wheel gun, but I don't think that's in the Audi pit. I think that is the Audi going into a 3rd stint, as we expected on its Michelins. Be the hard compound tyre, which we'll see them go to a medium or a soft during the night. And they may even quadruple stint those tyres, depending on how cool the track gets. But we'll see how that one pans out. That'll be in the very early hours of the morning.
We haven't actually gone into the track temperatures or conditions.
So interesting. Audi able to triple stint the tyres clearly, but they're talking about doing 2 more doubles, or another double stint on the. So maybe the Toyota going to take tyres now, by the sounds of that, with the rain coming, and that could be a shrewd move, because we heard the report there's going to be local rain somewhere on the circuit. Clearly not enough to worry about going to the Michelin Intermediate tyre, which does work fantastically well in the dry also. But it'd be interesting to see how that one pans out, because if the Toyota can only double on its tyres, I'd be very surprised. Clearly, he's thinking that they're going to leave the driver in there, Nick Lapierre in there for a quadruple stint. So you will generally change tyres when you change driver, and the drivers cannot do more than 3 hours in the car.
Depending on what happens here, we've got 23 laps. The others came in after 11 laps. Number 8 came in after 11 laps. So this could be 13 laps from the Toyota when it comes in.
It may
Number 8 anyway.
even manage the 14. I don't know whether that was them talking about coming in on this lap. They were talking about what to do when it came in, but I didn't hear box, and then the conversation, which is what we would expect to hear. And we are expecting 14 lap stints as the 7 car comes through to complete, I believe, its 13th lap of this stint.
Yep, that would be the 12th lap of the stint.
So he's now on his 13th, and we'll see what happens now with the other Toyota coming through the 8 car, as we see the 2. That is the 20 Porsche now flying again, I think. Timo Bernard with Marco Bononomi behind him. Sorry, that one had me over a little there, that image. But Marco Bononomi dropping back slightly there.
Was on his way out.
Yes, he's on his out lap.
Yeah.
So Porsche is just not really seeming to have the pace.
No. Now into the pits, number 8. So that's after.
That's a 13-lap stint, isn't it?
Yeah.
So still not the magic 14. Light rain reported that Marshall's post 18, which is Tertre Rouge, I believe. Yeah, that's on the way out of Tertre Rouge onto the Mulsanne Straight. So that's not somewhere we like rain. Very quick part of the track, but if it's only light, there won't be any opportunity there to cause too much hassle. As we see the number 20 Porsche coming through karting, heading down into the Ford chicane now, and then starting another lap. So the Toyota away, Interesting, you hear the Toyota absolutely silent as it drove away there. The car driving away on its supercapacitor, and then only once it reaches the pit lane speed limit of 60 kilometres an hour, firing that V8 engine. And he'll now reach the end of pit, and away he goes. So wet race declared. Eduardo Freitas and his team declaring, if you want to go and put some wets or inters on, you can, which until he declares that, you can't do. So I think expecting a bit more rain than we're seeing right now.
Now, at the moment, we've got 13 laps from... we should have 13 laps from Toyota. We're expecting, therefore, the leader in on the next lap, Alexander Wurz.
It's quite wet, Bob.
Rooster tails, it is a bit. Oh, yes.
It's very wet.
That's nasty.
And this is at the start of their stint. And this is what was forecast, and about 20 minutes later than we were expecting it. Wow, that's a lot of water. Just come out of the sky. And these guys now struggling around on their slicks. This is going to play into the hands of the... I don't know what I'd do if I was the team manager, but this is going to play into the hands, certainly, of the Porsches, who are yet to stop. And Andre Lotre and Alexander Wurz. No, because, of course, we've seen the... No, but all of those guys is playing into the hands of. If they can go to the Michelin wet, if they feel they need it.
But it is just a Tertre Rouge at the moment, isn't it? It doesn't seem to have...
They're going to have to make a decision now as to what they want to do. They could easily go to the Michelin. If they believe this is going to set in, they could use what they call the sponge tyre, which is a very soft compound slick. It doesn't actually have any cuts in it, and it does last remarkably well on a dry track. But they've got to expect it to be a lot heavier and a lot more prolonged than I think we actually expect it to be. But they're going to have to be the ones with the best information as we see the 7 in. So we're expecting to see, I think, that car change tyres now, and they're going to do a double stint. Very efficient way of doing it to keep the driver in for as long as possible, which certainly in these conditions is critical to not be throwing a new driver at it. This guy, he knows, Alex Wurz knows, tyres ready. Scrubbed hards by the looks of it. They might change the compound. And the 2 in as well. So will they change tyres? We know that they're planning on triple stinting the other cars. So be interesting to see as the Toyota boys go to work changing the tyres. He's coming in, cruising down.
13 lap stints as well. We're getting a little bit.
We've got some fairly heavy rain in front of us now, yeah. Absolutely, at the Ford chicane. It's people running for cover in the grandstands. Yeah, an awful lot of water coming out of the sky as we see the 42 Caterham. I think that's Tom Kimber-Smith at the wheel of that car. Not a mistake I'd expect from Tom. No, that's young Matt McMurray, the youngest driver here, youngest driver ever now to start Le Mans 24-hour, having a spin as he comes through the Old Forest S's, that left-hand section for Tertre Rouge right-hander. And yeah, harmless spin, but you know, I think 16 and 199 days, is it, Bob?
Sorry, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Oh, still
heavy rain now, and I think the Michelin, lots of cars coming in. The guys with the best weather forecasts are going to be the ones that benefit from this. So the 20 Porsche, as I alluded to, coming down pit road now with the opportunity, the greatest opportunity to gain from this. And coming in, it really is raining cats and dogs now. So the roll of the dice, what do they do? The 20 car in, no tyres waiting for it yet.
I mean, it's definitely, I would say it's definitely a shower because, I mean,
there's no clouds around us.
Yeah,
absolutely. But equally, how much time can you afford to lose? We're seeing everybody headed for the pits now. The 46, the 95, the Jota Zytek, the 91 Porsche continues round. He's trying to stay out. The 48 comes in now as well. 72, and the 7 off. The 7's been off.
No, 7 rejoins coming out of the pits.
No, that's on the Mulsanne.
Well, that was earlier on, in which case, because he's just coming out of the pits.
Okay, so that was on his in lap.
Yeah, exactly.
92 struggling with the rain up at Dunlop chicane. This is some rain. There is now standing water. This is you would be very wet if you were stood out in this shower. Everybody filing into the pit.